Hi, I'm Jackie. I wanted to record this sort of preamble because I think that it is kind of important for me to say. There are a couple times throughout this where I will refer to Cole Cassidy by his previous name, and that's not because I don't respect the change or the reasons for the change, but it's because from a story standpoint, it makes the most sense. I do try to work the name change in a decent-ish way, but, you know, I can really only do so much. If you weren't aware, Cole Cassidy had an original name that was a reference to one of the Diablo devs that worked at Blizzard, the same game studio where Overwatch is made. However, this developer got into a lot of non-consensual relations with the female employees and is all around just an absolutely disgusting individual. So really, I am glad that his name is no longer part of Overwatch's legacy, and with time it will eventually fade away, because after, you know, reading about the things that this deplorable individual has done, he doesn't deserve a legacy, and he doesn't deserve me to say his name. However, unfortunately, I'm going to do that. This is not done because I am one of those people that's like, oh, it's just a name. Like I just said, I'm glad this dirtbag doesn't have a legacy being part of Blizzard in any way anymore. But I do think that the name change is a little bit relevant to the story that I'm going to be telling today. I just wanted to get that out of the way because I'm not saying that out of disrespect to victims. I'm saying that because I think that it can be sort of a narrative point, and it's only like a couple times.
Ride to town, shoot 'em up, and keep on going. 'Cause I got a job to do, and I don't stop for no one. So get your gun, kiss your wife, and lock up your daughter. Don't let her fall in love with the pale rider. Many men have quickly found I'm unforgiving. They say dying ain't no way to make a living. So get your gun and bet your life if you're a gambler. And you draw a dead man's hand against the pale rider.
Many of the characters in Overwatch have sad, if not tragic, backstories, which, you know, sort of adds to the whole, you know, family isn't just blood, it's people you meet along the way message that could be extrapolated from this. I think one of the most tragic characters in all of Overwatch is Cole Cassidy. Now, the reason that he isn't chalked up as one of the sad characters along with the likes of Sigma or Tracer or even Reaper or Soldier 76 is because Cassidy masks his sadness very well. Cole Cassidy was born on a farm in Texas, and not much is truly known about his young life as he keeps those cards very close to his chest. However, to surmise his youth was troubled wouldn't be a stretch, as he left home and worked a series of low-paying jobs before we get to know him. He also learned to shoot, and if you're learning to shoot at a young age, it's most likely not for enjoyment as much as it is self-defense. One of the first jobs that we know about is he worked at a pork processing plant, which allegedly gave him some kind of experience that made him vow to never eat pork ever again. From there, he worked at a mega farm and made close friends with a man named Julian, who would save a spot for Cole in kitchen lines and kept the bunks clean of bed bugs and such. However, Julian got into a fight on the farm, and Cole jumped in to help, but as the police arrived, they threw Cole in jail, which led to his meeting of Elizabeth Caledonia Ash. On their introductions, Cole gives Ash a pseudonym. Jesse McCree. The young pair initially led a heist against Ash's parents, who owned the Arbalest Weapons Company. After a successful break-in, Ash and Cassidy formed the Deadlock Gang, which trafficked weapons throughout the American Southwest. The next bit of lore we get was a sting operation Overwatch conducted on the Deadlock Gang, sending the Blackwatch strike team to dismantle them. During this operation, Ash manages to escape, while Cole must have made an impression on the team, as he's given a choice by Blackwatch Strike Commander Reyes. Join their team, or go to prison for life. He chose the latter. Cole is still stuck under his fake name. Becomes a promising figure in the Overwatch team, and especially a promising character to Dr. Mina Liao, who requests that Cole guard her while she perfects her Omnic design type, Echo. All this goes out the window when Reyes leads Blackwatch on a mission in Rialto to arrest one of Talon's leaders. The team manages to get into Antonio's office, but at the last second,
"You're right,"
Reyes pulls the trigger on him. Genji is indifferent to the events, and Moira seems actually happy with the outcome. Cole is the only character who openly opposes the decision Reyes made, and it seems he had good reason. Overwatch is disbanded, as the strike force has now openly killed an Italian aristocrat with no publicly known ties to Talon. And if Overwatch, the pinnacle of heroism in the world, has a secret force filling their closets with skeletons, what else are they hiding? Cassidy is presumably one of those on station at Gibraltar when it is attacked. An attack that kills both of his superiors, Jack Morrison and Gabriel Reyes, and his presumably lady friend, Dr. Liao. This leads to the downfall of heroes, casts all of those that he worked with as criminals, strengthens Talon, and presumably this is where he loses his arm. Cole Cassidy, now an outlaw, returns to the Southwest and operates as a bounty hunter. All he's known is fighting, and decides to put those skills to use, until he gets the recall. After Winston issues the recall for all remaining Overwatch operatives, Cole is among those called. He pays off a Deadlock gang member and receives a tip on a train robbery Ash intends to pull off on a military train. A train hauling Echo's stasis pod, which before Dr. Liao's death gave Cole her activation chip. As the Deadlock gang blow the bridge and derail the train, Cole makes his appearance. Kills a number of the lesser gang members, but Ash and Bob he lets live, simply tying them up and sending them away. As he reawakens Echo, she notices that his arm has been replaced by a cybernetic one, and he sends Echo off to Winston, who flies in and helps defeat an Omnic attack in Paris. As he rallies a team of his own from a tip Anna gave him in Cairo, somewhere between Santa Fe and Cairo, he sheds the pseudonym, killing McCree and stepping up as Cole Cassidy for the first time since he was born. Anna gives Cole the names of potential Overwatch recruits, and he sets out to recruit them. Faria, or Farah, Anna's daughter, Hannah Song, aka Diva, Alexandra Zaryanova, and former Talon member Baptiste. Now, this is all presumption, but I think it could be pretty safely assumed that Cole sees a lot of himself in Baptiste, someone who fell in with the wrong crowd and just needs a hero to pull him out. And Cole can be that hero. But what truly scares him more is that he is becoming Reyes. And how long would it be before his team is dispatched on a mission and he pulls the trigger when he shouldn't have? Now, to make all of this worse, Cole has no idea that Reaper is still technically alive, just as the Reaper of Talon. And despite the interactions in-game, Cole never directly addresses him in a way where he knows that it's Reyes. Morrison is still dead to him, and he probably knows about the Soldier 76, but doesn't actually know that Jack Morrison is Soldier 76. Now, moving on to Echo, is quite literally the echo to his potential former love interest, and now he's a team leader in the new Overwatch. Essentially what Reyes was to him, he is to this new group. All this being said, Cassidy is a broken man, but a silver lining is that he still finds a way to grin through all of the pain. Quick with a one-liner and quicker with the six-shooter on his hip. If Cassidy could survive all of this and come out on top, then maybe we'll all be okay. This wasn't in my notes or in the script, so this is all, ad-lib coming off the top of the head, but Cole Cassidy isn't really a main character, at least not yet anyway. But he is a secondary or supporting character to a lot of the other stories. For instance, the Blackwatch team was led by Reyes, making him sort of the main character there. But Cole was one of the members. Echo's backstory, he isn't the star, but he is the guard assigned to Dr. Liao. In the Deadlock Rebels novel, Ash is the main character, but Cole is still there. And it just kind of goes to show that by using this sort of secondary character in so many of these backstories, he's sort of inadvertently become one of the more damaged characters, because through all of the trials that those characters face, he's there, and most likely would blame himself for letting Overwatch be disbanded, or being a part of the Deadlock sting operation that got Ash thrown in jail, and him involved in Blackwatch in the first place. He couldn't save Dr. Liao, but he's doing his best to try to save Echo. I know this wasn't the most, polished character introspective type thing, but all of this is coming off of the content that we have that Cole Cassidy is involved in as it stands right now. Once PvE is introduced into Overwatch 2, there's probably going to be more, but because that's not happening anytime soon, despite, dev claims and all that, I did want to get this out there because I truly think that Cole Cassidy is a very damaged man, and I want to see where his story takes him next. I don't know how to end videos, Jesus.